So why exactly the Chinese dynasty spanned so long? Well, it can be accounted to many reasons. One being Confucianism. Confucianism had its origin in ancient China. It was developed around 500 BC, and one of the key Confucian concepts is that in order to govern others, one must first govern oneself according to the universal order. This idea may be traced back to the ancient beliefs of the king being the link between the sky, human beings, and the earth. The emperors of China, hence, were considered the agents of heaven. They held the power to bestow the titles upon the mountains, rivers, and dead people, acknowledging them as powerful and therefore establishing their cults. Confucianism thus supported the importance of obeying the national authority and placed obedience under the absolute moral principles. Confucius also gave the idea of meritocracy, according to which a commoner who develops the quality is always a bigger man than the son of the king with no qualities. The other reason for the emperors of China to have such a long dynasties was that they were endowed with the mandate of heaven since the ancient times. The mandate of heaven has been a Chinese political and religious teaching used since ancient times to justify the rule of the king. According to this belief, it embodies the natural order and the will of the universe and bestows the mandate of just the ruler of China as the son of heaven. So, if the ruler was overthrown by the right of revolution given by Confucius, this was interpreted as an indication that the ruler was unworthy and had lost the mandate. The mandate of heaven does not require a person to be a legitimate ruler just by a noble birth. Instead, it gives the emphasis on the able performance of the person. Dynasties such as the Han and the Ming were founded by men of common origins, but they were seen as having succeeded getting the mandate of heaven. The other reason, perhaps, was China's position, which makes it most isolated of the four cradles. China has the sea on its eastern border, world's largest mountain range on the west, blocking it entirely from the world. It was just open for attacks from the north, which was not very strong as compared to China until the invasion of Mongols. For the protection from the invasions from the north, although there were efforts like building the Great Wall of China, but still China was a safe place for the civilizations to grow stronger and stronger. Other reason was perhaps that the Chinese had a massive bureaucracy. The Chinese civil service system gave the Chinese empire the stability for more than 2000 years and provided one of the major outlets for social mobility in the Chinese society. The Qin dynasty established the first centralized Chinese bureaucratic empire and thus created the need for an administrative system to staff it. Initially, the recruitment into the Qin bureaucracy was based on the recommendations by the local officials. Later, under the reign of the Han Emperor Wudi, an imperial university was established to train and test the officials in the techniques of the Confucian government. Further, the Sui dynasty adopted this Han system and applied it in a much more systematic way as a method of official recruitment. They introduced the rule that the officials of a subdivision must be the appointees of a central government rather than the local aristocrats, and that the local militia was to be the subject of the officials of the central government only, thus making it a well-knit, strong empire. The civil service system expanded to what may consider its highest point during the Song dynasty. Public schools were established throughout the country to help the talented but the poor. Business contact were barred among the officials related by blood or marriage. Relatives of the imperial family were not permitted to hold high positions, and promotions were based totally on the merit system. One of the other reasons was the building of the Great Wall of China. As early as the 7th century BC, the state of Chu began to build the Great Wall in order to resist the threat from the northern nomadic people. Although the Great Wall measured approximately 3 to 4 meters high at that time, it still managed to delay the assault of the nomads. Later, when Qin Shi Huang came to power and unified China, he joined the separate Great Wall sections built by previous states to form a huge complicated frontier defense resisting the invasion of the northern Huns and the nomadic tribes from the north. So how was exactly the Great Wall of China functional? Well, it helped in delivering the messages. The soldiers stationed at the beacon towers transmitted messages by fire or smoke to warn the troops once the enemy was approaching. The Great Wall is generally located in high terrain, like a military screen, to defend the people inside. Transporting troops and supplies. The wide passages on the top of the wall are beneficial to the troops' movement and supplies delivered during the battle. Territory expansion. The Chinese troops greatly relied on the Great Wall of China to attack the Huns. If they won, they kept advancing and took over the territory of the nomads. If they lost, they returned and sought defense from the Great Wall. So, in the face of attack, the Great Wall helped organize defense and reduce the losses caused by the nomadic people from the north. It certainly worked well. During the 2000 years stretching from the Qin dynasty to the Qing dynasty, there was only one person to break it: Genghis Khan. And the last reason for the long-lasting dynasties was that the longer they survived, the more strategic they became, thus reinstating their positions further.